This Bubba Exotic Motorsports production is brought to you in part by Blog Talk Radio, host of our #1 rated internationally syndicated automotive podcast as heard on the Bubba's Motorsports Network, and by Schumacher Chevrolet, SchumacherAuto.com, Schumacher.com, SchumacherAuto.com, and finally by Robertson Racing LLC.com, RobertsonRacingLLC.com. Visit them for all your lubricant needs. Hey, good morning, Bub. We're coming to you live from inside the main facility here at Bubba's Exotic Motorsports. And this is a side of the facility that people haven't seen. Yep. We're going to explain it. We are distributors of the largest wheel and tire company out there. There's a lot going on. We're joined on the set today by our Director of Security. He's standing off in the corner over there. So if you hear some ghost-like nuances and things, you'll know he was about. Bub, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Doing really good so far, man. Just cranking away, getting a lot of these rides caught up around here, and just, a lot of full progression today.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that we do a tremendous volume of wheel and tire combinations. Yeah. You're known for your wheel and tire fitment in the industry. The way you set things right on the edge there so that there's no scrubbing, there's no fitment issues, there's no binding. In fact, this is a set of weld wheels that you're working with right now that's going on a very pro touring 1976 Chevrolet Vega you're building with a box suspension, roll cage, complete handmade chassis. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, so you just touched on a little bit there. These actually just came in this morning. We had these sent in just 2 days ago. We had these overnighted in so that we could get these up, ready to go, mounted in balance, and we're actually sending them down to Clay, who is at Chassis Engineering, who's actually doing the full chassis for this car. He's very, very well known in the industry for doing some of the best, framing systems, suspensions, all across the world. He's in Riviera Beach, just south of us here, so we've already, stripped the car down, motor, trans, wiring, upholstery, everything. We literally just send him a roller, say build it start to finish. This is the way it needs to be. This is the rear end I want. This is the way I want the suspension. This is the braking system I want. And what we do in this case is we get the exact wheel and tire combo, the sizing, everything we're going to run, which this is actually a Mickey Thompson Sportsman SR. It's going to be a nice pro street car when it's done, laying down about 600 horse. And you got to think this is going to be maybe 2,500 pounds. Yeah. So that's a lot of horsepower in a little car like that. So we went with something that would be real nice and sticky for the street if the client wanted to take it out to the track, which he will. He will. He will have that full street strip capability with this Mickey Thompson setup. So we went with the Mickey Thompson Sportman SRs in the front. Same thing in the rear. These are a nice soft compound tire wrapped on the weld wheels. The rears are actually getting custom cut for us right now. The fronts are ready to go. So we're going to mount and balance these things. I did one. We've got the other one ready to go. Then we're going to send them down and start getting the suspension and stance mocked up for that thing too.
And Bub, that comes on the heels of the '82 Pro Touring Malibu wagon you built for him. Yep. All hand fabricated firewall delete, all kinds of interior handmade rolled inner fender skirts that you made for that car. I mean, that whole car was pretty much done by hand. He loves the car. He's going to just use for mock-up the wheels and tires off the back of that thing, right? But this speaks, I think, to everything that I'm sharing with the audience today around the world. And you can see more of this at BubbasExoticMotorsports.com. That's BubbasExoticMotorsports.com. When you're there, go to our YouTube channel and click on subscribe, and you'll be seeing these updates coming to you throughout the day, okay? But you're able, Bub, based on the way you've set these platforms up, you're already able to monitor and purchase your wheel and tire combinations so they sit right under there. That's how exacting your measurements are.
Right, you got to be super tight with it. There's a lot of guys out there in the industry, just because the wheels physically, and this is what most guys think for some reason, just because the wheels will fit from a bolt pattern standpoint, the lug pattern, meaning that they'll actually slide on all 5 of those studs, 4 of them, 6 of them, 8 of them, whatever it is you're working with, doesn't mean it's the best fitment. You need to make sure that your backside measurements are the same, which is also considered the offset in today's technology. Everything from the wheel width to the height, diameter, everything comes into play when you're trying to set up cars. Even trucks, trucks more importantly, because the wheel wells are only so big. So at a certain point, you have to either keep going higher or you can't get any bigger. It's just one of those things where you have to continue working the two together, whether you're going up, whether you're going down. This one's going to be a pro street car, so it's going to be tucked real tight on these tires. You just got to make sure that you've got full clearance everywhere, no scrubbing, no hard turning left and right. And that's everything from pro street to this vintage set that's over your right
How
shoulder.
about these? These are the American racing wheels you were talking about just the other day.
Just yesterday, yeah, for the Camaro.
Exactly. And you also have another set for a 69 Chevy van, G10.
66 G10 van.
66 G10 van as well, man.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sorry, people can't see offset right now. You've got a Hummer, a brand new Hummer H2 that a client just purchased. It's in here. We're going to be looking at wheel and tires for that.
Yep. So it's, I mean, it's a full array of everything you can imagine, from, you know, the Pro Street to the vintage to even, you know, our 3-piece custom designs that we have done. Everything you could possibly imagine, to the exotics, the imports, the domestic, the trucks, lifted, lowered. It doesn't even matter. I mean, if you can really, if you can dream it, right?
We can build it. And I don't know, our producer works the camera angles, but I don't know how much of the wall you can see behind us, but we are sponsored by American Racing.
Wheel Pros.
Wheel Pros, that's correct. And American Racing falls under that, Santi falls under that, the XD series falls under that, parent name, Lorenzo, all the names fall directly under it. And right along this area where you do your wheels and tires like that, and they constantly rotate these out. Continually.
Yeah, and I know Kenny's planning on coming up. Our personal rep, Kenny Ledsom, he's going to come up, I think, this week or next week. And he switches these out every 30, 60 days. He switches it with a full lineup. And, you know, this year, I'll tell you what, man, 2016 was pretty solid for them at SEMA with the release of all of this year's stuff coming out. We just got all the new product and catalogs in, so now the wheels are going to come in behind it. Some really intense stuff, man. They're really pushing hard in every arena, which is what we love, because we play in every arena as well. So everything from the trucks to the cars to the exotics to the imports, everything.
And speaking of catalogs and things, I just got off the phone with our representative Christina over at Eckler's. We were talking about Chuck Bell's Corvette that you're building right now. Their name's all over that build, like it is all over everything else. And Christina's going to be sending you up some calendars, some mugs, and things like that as well. And stuff like that. So you've got that stuff coming as well from your sponsors. So, you know, hey, Bub, in terms of the equipment that you use to mount and balance wheels and tires, you've got a tremendous amount of money invested in all of this equipment here. This thing has arms like an octopus. And to watch you work it is literally phenomenal, because you're in and out of this equipment. You've got this arm doing this. You've got one arm going this way, one arm going this way, blah, 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 blah. So you mount and balance on your exotics, the lowest profile tires, and on your ball players' trucks, the biggest tires. Tell me a little bit about why you invest so much money into your equipment.
Yeah, I mean, really honestly, you're only as good as your equipment. I mean, that's 100%. You can't deny it. You know, we can do everything here from 6 inches to 32 inches, which is a very wide. That's a wide span of rim sizes. And you know, there was a time where most people didn't think, you know, you would never think of the rims 22s. You wouldn't think of 24s.
How long ago was that, Bob, for example?
4 years, 5 years, and now that's your mass production now. I mean, the new Escalades, the new Suburbans, those are coming 22 stock. So it's, you know, the older equipment that some of these guys have, it's not up to par anymore. You're not going to be able to do it. You know, so it's everything from small sizes all the way up to, you know, again, to do an upgrade on an Escalade, most people fit a 26, which is a comfortable fitment. I mean, it's comfortable. You can clear everywhere. You've got nice rubber and tire on it without scrubbing, hard turns. You can drop down on that, still no scrubbing. You know, so that's a normal size. So you have to have the equipment that is able to handle that diameter setup, and also to do it right. I mean, that's the biggest difference. There's different companies out there, like our wheel machine. You can have multiple clamping styles. You can have clamping on the outside, clamping on the inside. You can do center mount clamping. So all of these rims that are out there in today's world of, you know, whether it be Vossen, whether it be ADV, whether it's Wheel Pros, well,
those are manufacturers or different products.
Every one of them. And we've built and designed, and we're actually dealers for every one of them. But it's every one of them has a different style design. It's just the way it is. It's today's world. So you have to be able to take all of these companies, be able to build them so that there's never a client that walks through the door that says, "Hey, I want this," and you have to say, "I'm sorry, we can't do it." So we're ahead of the curve. We can do virtually anything you could possibly imagine in terms of wheel and tire combos.
And in South Florida, Bub, you really have to have that capability, because we have the Lambos, the Ferraris, the Porsches. We have all of that here. And we also have a ton of lifted trucks and Jeeps here for the beach and stuff like that. So you have to invest in the highest end equipment, correct?
You do, 100%.
One of the things, Bub, that you're known for, certainly throughout the industry, is your perfection of everything that you touch. Okay, it cannot. Your comeback rate is less than 1/10%. When you put your mind into
small,
it,
I mean, do we have issues? For sure, everyone has issues. Whether it be us,
part failure or something.
I mean, it doesn't even matter. General Motors has issues. Ford has issues. There are mass production companies that have issues. It's always the smaller guys that get their name blasted the most, but It is what it is.
Well, we learned yesterday about somebody who spent a great deal of time trying to blast our name and has now been arrested for some pretty serious stuff.
Pretty good. All good, though.
Yeah, because karma comes around, man.
Yeah, you just let it
really
fly.
does. And we're just going to let the detectives do their thing and keep working with it, you know?
Just let it fly. That's how it goes.
Let it fly. But, Bub, one of the things you've got over here, this is your wheel balancer.
Yeah.
And this particular wheel balancer that you purchased allows you to balance inside the wheel, outside the wheel, on both sides of the wheel. What is the difference, man? And why? I mean, you always shoot zeros so that there's a perfect balance on what you do.
Yeah, I mean, especially too. I mean, not so much doing low profile stuff. I mean, that's like a walk in the park for me anymore. It's really, and a lot of the guys out there who have done this will agree, it's always when you get into the bigger tires. This set is not very big behind me. This is like a set of 33, so not a hard set to balance by the time you put it on the rim. It's pretty normal size right now still. But when you get into the 35s, 37s, 40s, you know, you start getting into a really wide rim, 12, 14 inches wide, even 16 inches wide, and you start throwing really huge tires on it, especially these lifted trucks. It takes time and precision to get those wheels set on. Let me tell you, I mean, those things, it's not unheard of for them to be 5, 6, 7, 8 ounces of weight on one wheel. Most cars can do the whole car in under 2 ounces. So, you know, just a 1/4 ounce here, 3/4 of an ounce there, that's perfect. That's where you should be. But this machine will allow me to do everything I need to do, from drag racing setups on, you know, for this rim example here, this is 4.5 inches wide. I can get my machine to calibrate that in and shoot straight zeros. On the track, does it really matter? Most people wouldn't care. Most people would just take a set.
But you still do it.
Well, I still balance it. I want it
you
to
balance
be good.
trailer tires, and that's completely
I do balance
unheard
trailer
of.
tires.
Right.
Yeah. I want them to be smooth. I don't want to wobble down the road. It's just that simple. I mean, some people like to wobble, but it's all good.
Yeah.
But this machine will allow me to do everything from steel to aluminum to spoke, single balancing, inner balancing, outer balancing, hammer-on balancing for stock style steel wheels, which is just the older vintage stuff.
Show us an example of a hammer-on balance weight, Bub.
Well, I mean, this is just a very small piece of aluminum and lead that you just hammer onto the lip of the rim, but you wouldn't want to take this beautiful rim here and hammer this on. So I'm actually going to do a adhesive weight on the inside, very thin, very low profile, that'll clear the Willwood brakes that are going to be on the front of this car. And it's just one of those things you have to build into every car. Every application is different. And
Can you also, Bub, show us an example of adhesive weights as well, too?
Everything from, here's a row of silver, and then for, when I get into a lot of our custom applications, we'll actually have guys that will want, I mean, most people will just, I don't even know where the camera is. It's over there.
It's right there.
So here's some silver, which is just your silver. It's flexible, easy. You just peel the back off, center it against the machine, balance it up exactly where it tells you to. A lot of the time what I do is I'll take rows of these, you know, when I get a brand new box of 50 or 100 of them, I'll take 20 of them out of the box, I'll lay them down, and I'll spray 20 of them in matte black, and then I'll take another 20 and spray them in a gloss black, because we have multiple wheels come through the shop. So here's a set of the gloss blacks. So that way, when you look through that rim, if it's got a nice wide opening, clean spoke design, maybe 5 spokes, you can look through. You don't see bright silver weight sticking out on a gloss.
And one of the
rim.
things, Bub, I noticed that in your weights, if I can see them real quick, I noticed that your weights are kind of in segments here.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about what those segments represent, and you and the audience can see them. It breaks almost like a bracelet.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what those are, Bub?
Well, so each one of these, so this whole strip right here, uncut, this is a 3-ounce strip. These are the way I buy them. I buy them in 3-ounce strips. It's really the most I like to run, no more than 2 ounces in a one-piece strip without centering between a break of 90. But what I do is I would take these, for example, if you had 2.5 ounces, this is a 3-ounce strip, you're going to take 1/2 ounce off. Each one of these is a 1/4 ounce, and they're all labeled, so 0.25 here. Some of them will actually be like 1/4 per quarter instead of 0.25. And then you set it to whatever the machine tells you. So if this machine told me on the left-hand side it would be 0.75, and then this side would be 0.50, I would need 3 of these on the inside, 2 of them on the outside, and that would be a perfect balance. You put them on, spin the wheel again, see how it comes out. And 99% of the time, if you calibrate your machine, which I do between every set of wheels I balance, you get it on the first spin.
And Bub, one of the other things that is often overlooked and so severely not looked upon as an important step of mounting any wheel and tire combination, okay? The manufacturer will mark the wheel. And the mark on the wheel will look like what? And what does that represent to you as a perfectionist?
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of balancing, tire companies have to mark the tires and what their weighted point should be. So meaning you want to take 99% of the time, these you're not going to see it on a Mickey Thompson's, you won't for this setup. But you'll find like a yellow dot somewhere. You'll take that yellow dot and you'll line it up with your valve stem as you're mounting the wheel and tire. The point of doing that is it's going to give you the imbalance portion will be next to the valve stem, which will give you the most clean, less weight balance you could possibly get. So you're not going to have to put 4 ounces on when those two are lined up. You can put an ounce and a quarter on, for example. So you want to line those up as best as you can. Me personally, I kind of play with them a little bit. I like my stuff to be straight up and down. It's like an obsession that I do. So what I do, for example, like you're looking at this one. Here's a weld wheel. The valve stem's at 6 o'clock. Weld racing facing here. This would be my 12 o'clock spoke, and I centered Mickey Thompson at dead 12 o'clock. So if this car were ever in a photo shoot and it were sitting there and somebody wanted to see that, and this car were sitting with the wheel straight up 12 to 6, that would be a really, really clean photo for somebody.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the perfection I'm talking about. This is what the meaning of doing it Bubba style is all about. And people don't see that or get it. When Bub mounts and balances a tire, as simple as that task may seem, the logo is in the 12 o'clock position with the spoke, lined up dead center with the center cap at the 6 o'clock position of the valve stem. So visually, you're drawing a straight line down. That's the amount of perfection that we bring to you from Bubba's Exotic Motorsports. And you can see more of that at bubbasexoticmotorsports.com.
And more importantly, too, though, just to touch on that, because that seems like a small detail for most people. Most people would argue it. Either way, you're going to balance the wheel. You're going to be putting weights on it. So as long as you're not within like a 4-ounce difference of it, then there's no reason to take it off, dismount it, switch it around.
And just
putting
off
weights on the
stage,
thing either way.
Stepped up my beautiful bride Robin. So,
but I'll tell you what, the most important part for me doing this, my absolute number one reason I do it is for guys that have a fifth wheel. Whether it be, for example, we have an H2 in the shop right now. That style setup, that one actually has a wheel cover over the back that says a Hummer on it. But if that were just an open wheel.
Jeep listeners, our Jeep owners,
big time, dude.
Here we go.
You pull up behind a Jeep, how many people have done it where you have a set of 33s, 35s, 37s on it, and you look at the back wheel and it's literally turned like this so that the wheel company, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's
at the 10 o'clock position.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't even matter. But maybe it's Moto Metal and it's going sideways from like 7 o'clock to 1 o'clock. It's just the Moto Metal's going sideways on it. And then you have, you're looking at this whole thing. It's just, why can't you take the time and straighten it? So like, for me, I would take everything, go 12 to 6 on it. And I've even done a lot of Jeeps where we actually change the bolt pattern on the actual mounting point of the spare tire carrier on the back of it. We'll re-drill it and we'll reposition the 3 studs. So whether it's maybe 2 at the top, 1 at the bottom, or however they sent it, 1 at the top, 2 at the bottom. We'll take them and drill them just to set that spare rim on there. That way it looks really good going down the road. Just that 12 to 6, everything's in line. It looks really cool from the back.
Again, it's all about the precision here. It's all about the symmetry here. It's all about how it's done here. And everything you do above is with absolute precision. There's no second guessing it. It may take you an extra half hour to mount 2 wheels and tires because you are taking the time.
That's okay.
But it doesn't reflect in the client's cost. It's just the beauty of the job that you've brought forth to the client.
It looks good.
So it's an art. This is a science. And I don't think people really understand how big we are and how much we really do here. Okay? You don't just go out and do oil changes. You build high-end cars. You work with the best of the best, very exotic vehicles. And it doesn't matter whether it's a Toyota Camry that comes in for a quick oil change or a GT 40 X1. It just doesn't matter with you.
Yeah.
So it's all about that quality.
Yep. So here at Bubba's Exotic Motorsports, you've said it. We do it all. It's just that simple.
We do. And we challenge anybody to do it better than us because it cannot be done. It cannot be done. We bring forth 100% customer satisfaction guarantee with everything that we do here. And I don't say that arrogantly. It's just the truth.
Yep.
So, but we'll be off the air for the next 2 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's actually 3. I apologize for that. We are going to be flying up for your grandfather and my father's funeral. We'll be laying a very, very missed grandfather to rest at Arlington National Cemetery. The man deserves every one of the honors he gets. He impacted everybody he came in contact with very positively. Wore a suit and tie every day with an American flag. Served this country proudly for 32 years, very smart, very scholarly, and founded and owned 2 defense contracting companies to continue serving his country outside of his uniform. So we apologize for that, but I hope you'll give us a little leadway on that. We'll definitely be back Saturday with the podcast, as heard on Blog Talk Radio and the Bubba's Motorsports Network.
Yep. And
Monday we'll be back live with everybody, and we'll be sharing that with them. Miss Outlaw Boutique, one of our big sponsors, MSOutlawBoutique.com. Eckler's Got to be out there with Ecklers, man.
Yep.
How about that?
Finishing up these rides with Ecklers all the way.
All the way, man. We couldn't do it without those guys
Especially the
over
older
there.
ones, man.
That's right.
Put it in a box, send it down, it's going home.
Going
it's
home.
Simple.
Wheel Pros, thanks for all you guys do as one of our sponsors. And you know what? We certainly can't forget Roberts at Racing over there.
Yep.
Bud and crew he'll be on the air with us this weekend, man.
Okay, cool.
So, Bud, that's about it, man. We're going to get ready to head back up to Washington, D.C. It's cold. I just talked to Chuck Bell, the NBC 4 news anchor, weather anchor up there, and he has warned us that it is snow flurrying up there now.
Sweet.
It's going to be a total of 40 degrees up there, man.
Awesome. We get back here, man.
A 50-degree swing in the weather, man.
Yep.
You know, how about that?
All right, I gotta get back to work. We're supposed to do 5 minutes, and
but we enjoy it. We enjoy the technical stuff. We enjoy sharing with you.
Go for it.
So, Bub, until next time,
keep on doing it, Bubba Style.
let's keep on doing it, Bubba Style, and make sure today you do something kind for somebody else. Lend them $1. Open that door. Extend yourself, but make sure you do it right. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.
See you later.